What's going on, guys? Ahmed back with another video. Today I'm here to give you all the top 10 albums of the year. If you notice a change, yes, I finally got me a ring light. I was like, enough is enough. Had to get me a ring light. The lighting was just too bad. I was not messing with it. With that being said, I wanted to give you all my opinion on the top 10 albums this year. Obvious core New York hip hop rap, so strictly from New York. What do I feel like is the strongest project to come out here from? And this is everybody counts, young, old, tall, short, whatever. If you dropped an album, I saw it, I did my best to count it, and I tried to grade everyone as appropriately as possible. With that being said, two honorable mentions go out. Number one to Apartment 505 by Coast Contra. Last minute, man. I was so sad to see this one go because this was one of my personal favorite albums this year. And what an inspiring story by Coast Contra to really come out with this project and put the world, ablaze with this. Absolutely incredible. Great lyricism. Just didn't have enough versatility for me, I think, throughout. And while there was, of course, lyricism, there weren't as many bars that really were crazy to me. And if you're gonna be a lyricist, you need a lot of those for me to really feel like, okay, you got to be on here. And to me, it didn't really have that. But like I said, if there was an 11th spot, it would go to Apartment 505. And the other honorable mention I got to give is to Chef G's From the Can. Really solid project by Chef G, but just not as many memorable choruses as I would have hoped for, and overall a bit boring, especially towards the beginning of it. It picked up a little bit towards the end, but even still, it was just an okay project. And like I said in my last video, it is a project from prison, so you know I understand. I'm not exactly, my expectations weren't high, but I just want to let you know that I did see it, and it was okay. So let's get into it. Starting off at number 10, and I cannot believe that this is this low. It just shows the level of quality that has come out of New York this year. Coming on at number 10, it's got to be Corleone by Don Q. What a fire album. This was my personal introduction to Don Q's music, and it was an incredible introduction. I'm so happy that I got to see his music in this way. Great vulnerability, great bars and rhyme schemes throughout. Really enjoyed the cadences and flows throughout. Really made for an enjoyable listen that never got boring or got played out. And he kept it interesting with a decent amount of variation. Overall, I just feel like he didn't have enough variety for me to really warrant a higher spot on this list. And besides the couple times where he had, maybe features, a lot of songs felt like they tread the same ground in terms of content matter, and so that's why I can't really give it much higher ratings. Number 9 goes to Rowdy vs. Rebel by Rowdy Rebel. This was a double disc project, one side being Rowdy, of course the other side being Rebel. Pretty solid, honestly. Pretty well executed, pretty ambitious, thing to try to accomplish going about a double album, and it was decently executed. I feel like the first half, definitely from a musical perspective, was really, really strong, and I took a lot of songs from it. Second half was more of the, of course, deep, more thoughtful side, but also I think a bit of the weaker side for me personally. I do wish that he got into more personal when it came to the introspection. I do wish that he was a little better when it came to that side, because a lot of the songs on the second half blended into each other a little bit, and that kind of hampered the execution overall. But overall, a really, really good project. And when it comes to a musical execution standpoint, I really feel like he did his thing. A lot of the songs on this album sounded really, really good and just came off and flowed through my ears really, really well. And definitely has two of the best songs of the year with New York and Rowdy vs. Rebel. So yeah, absolutely, Rowdy vs. Rebel, one of the strongest projects. And number 8, I gotta give it to Tana Talk 4. Absolutely incredible project by Benny the Butcher. This again was my first introduction to Benny the Butcher, and again, really a great way to be introduced to the guy. Absolutely killed it by far. When you want to talk about just from a rhyme scheme perspective, absolutely insane. Easily the strongest in New York. Dude was damn near rhyming whole sentences together. I am gonna always love that coke rap talk, you know what I mean? Always gonna love, the snow shoveling business. Absolutely, Mr. Pyrex, man, he was killing it. definitely songs got a bit repetitive throughout, and the choruses were definitely really lacking. So that's why it doesn't really end up any higher. But overall, a really strong project, and definitely something that everybody should go ahead and take a listen to. Of course, you have stuff like Verse of the Year with J. Cole on Johnny P's Caddy. You have Tyson versus Ali, 10 Crack Commandments. A lot of highlights on here, and a really strong project by one, probably the from a lyrical perspective, probably the strongest member on Griselda. And I'm really excited to see what he does next. Number 7 is going to be The Bible by Fivio Foreign. Absolutely an incredible album, one of my most personally anticipated albums, and I feel like he delivered pretty well. He had a lot of songs ideas on here that I feel like he executed very well. And while it was cohesive because it has that drill sound, it never felt like, oh, stuff is getting repetitive. One song sounds like the next. Every song felt like a different song with a different purpose, which was really cool. I definitely feel like in the future, Favi's maybe got to be a bit more careful with the people who he decides to get on the album, because while there were some people like Kanye and Quavo who killed it, other people I definitely felt like kind of gave the album its few misses. And a list this competitive, those few misses can definitely hurt you. So I definitely feel like in the future, the features is definitely what some of the features definitely held this album back, and so much maturity from Fivio as a rapper and just as a person throughout this artist. So much lyrical improvements that was so nice to see. And I'm so excited to see what he does next. And I feel like it's interesting, as good as this album was, and as much as I like this album, I do feel like there's definitely more in the tank, deeper for Fivio to go when it comes to his quality of his music and the quality of his lyricism and bars and all that good stuff. So yeah, absolutely The Bible, number 7. Number 6, I gotta give it to A Boogie with the Hoodie with Me versus Myself. And it's interesting because I've been really trying to figure out how I've been gonna review and talk about this album. But it's crazy because for as much as A Boogie, I felt like, this was an experimental album, very different. It was surprisingly consistent with a lot of experimental albums. We see kind of some stuff is really killing it and some stuff is kind of, nah, we good off that. But all of the songs were actually really good in one way or another. There wasn't that many misses for me. There was only Take Shots and Money Conversations that were like frank misses to me. And even then, I know people, who know a decent amount about music who really love those songs. And so overall, a really consistent listen throughout. I don't feel like it hit the like insane highs that I was kind of hoping for, especially from a flow perspective. But the trance that this album puts you in, the deepness and introspection that he has about his relationships and his time in the street was really dope to hear. And the level of ambition of this album definitely puts it above the things below it. Absolutely an incredible album, another double disc album, I think a bit better executed in my opinion than Rowdy vs. Rebel. But yeah, solid album by A Boogie with the Hoodie. Hey guys, editor's note. So this video is getting kind of long, and I want to split it into 2 pieces. So the first half, just the 10 through 6, will all be in today's video, of course, as you all have seen. And then tomorrow I will come out with the next video of the 5 through 1 range. Definitely look forward to that. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day, y'all. Peace.